Hi everyone, how have you all been? It's great to see you guys again. Oh, it's been a very hectic week. Oh, look at that. Why do I look so purple? I think it's because the light right here, yeah, was not on too much. Let me just take this off right here. Maybe this will help. Don't know why I look so purple with the lights right now. Now I look a little blown out. Give me a second. And I'll say hi to all of you in a minute. Let me just try to get this right. One of my lights needs a charge, so I've got lighting which is much stronger on one side than it is on the other. But why I'm looking purple, I do not know. Come on, you should be able to have some more charge in you. There you go, that will light me up a little bit on this side. Alright, so, great seeing you guys again, as always. You know what, this is driving me a little crazy. Let's see, what would this do? Not too much. Well, we're just gonna have to deal with this for now. I'll have better lighting next time. So yeah, have you guys all been? Oh, let's see. Oh, Sarah's here. Let's see, she says, "Hey yo, won't be able to stay. I was literally about to sleep when I noticed the notification. Stupid school. See you, Eric. Nice to see you guys." Sarah, before you leave, let me ask this, because I have been thinking about this. I'll ask you very quickly. I was thinking, should I move these live streams to a Saturday night instead? Would that help? Like, would that actually help you guys? Because I do know now that on a Sunday, a lot of you guys, the very next day, are going to be, you know, going to work or going to school. So if I did it late night Saturday, where the next day you don't have any school, it's just a Sunday, would that be better? Goat says yes. Khan says if I'm okay with it. Time Shadow says that's an interesting idea. Big Bash says that would be cool. Sarah says that's a good question. But yeah, before you go to sleep for school, I thought I'd ask you right now, because I was going to ask you guys, all of you, this question. Sarah says, see, it really depends, because on a Saturday you're more likely to have plans. That is true. Sundays, yeah, you don't. Maybe I should just get my streams done earlier on a Sunday like I used to do. Maybe that will just help. Okay, next week, I'll see if I can try to do a better job. I'll see if I can actually do the stream early. So instead of it being now, it'll be this time on a Sunday, but it'll be about 3-4 hours ahead before this, basically. Because I know I am doing this live stream later than usual. Caleb, I've actually not seen Demon Slayer Infinity Castle yet, because I still haven't seen the most recent season. I've been so busy. Okay, Sarah, that's no problem. I hope you have a great sleep and hope you have a great day at school tomorrow. But we'll try to figure this out. So next week it'll still be on a Sunday, but I'll try to figure it out closer to the time. So let's see. Guys, hold on a second. I'm just going to take this studio light, put it on charge for a little, and maybe... And maybe we'll have some charge somewhere in the middle of this stream. In the meantime, I'll just bring this light right over here. And just light myself up a bit more, I think. Okay, that's not working as well. That just, if anything, is just too bright, I'd say. Let's move it all the way here. Oh man, that's blindingly bright. Hold on. And that's not even anywhere near as bright as setting. Okay, I feel like we've got something better here than what we had before. There you go. I think this looks better than what we had before, so we'll do this for now. Yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. Alright then, let's see. Someone did a super chat. Let's see. The Master of Gaming has done a $2 Australian donation. And we are starting off with a political question. Okay. Yeah, Sarah, we can talk about it on Discord. Take care. Okay, so, in answer to the question about Charlie Kirk, first thing I'll say, I had no idea who Charlie Kirk was. There are so many influencers on YouTube that I didn't even know about this one. Although when I was reminded about him, I was like, oh yeah, I did see this guy like twice, where he had the floor mopped with him. Where it was Princeton? Yeah, two Princeton students who mopped the floor with him in a debate. And he was being weird in that debate, where he was saying to them, calm down, when really the kid had a very good point, and that's why he said calm down. The whole audience even gasped at him, because he was talking a lot louder than the kid. But because the kid was making a very good point, he was telling him calm down. It was ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know anything about Charlie Kirk, although I do know there's a lot of stuff that he has said which has not been... It's not good stuff. This is not the kind of person that I would look up to as any kind of, you know, like certain people look up to him as some kind of political figure. And if anyone does, I'm going to say that's entirely your affair. I'm not going to make any comments about that. But he said a lot of things which I think are truly despicable, and you guys know the whole... this is where things get tricky, because we're talking about politics, and I don't want to... If I'm in the zone and I feel like I want to talk about politics, then fine. Right now it's 1:24 a.m. in the morning, and my mind is not in the place right now, and I feel like I could step on people's toes if I don't articulate my point properly. So I'm not going to really do that. All I'll say is there's a lot of stuff he said that I don't agree with. I think the majority of the stuff he has said I don't agree with. That being said, what happened was unjustifiable. I thought that was disgusting what actually happened. You're not supposed to just go around and start, you know, taking shots at people. I thought that was wrong. So yeah, I thought that was what happened. I thought was incredibly wrong. That being said, like I said, you guys know I said I do not support anything that he said. It was a lot of the stuff he said was despicable. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. I don't like the guy. I don't like anything he said. That being said, in spite of that, what actually went down I think was wrong. It should not have happened. Anyway, Big Bass says Charlie actually really liked his South Park episode. Did he? I was not aware of that. The Dark Lord says not about his death, way before. Well, like I said, I've only really seen 2 YouTube short clips of him. I never even knew about a Charlie Kirk. So I can't really comment on that, like, you know, the stuff he said before. But he said a lot of despicable things that I have seen, especially now that he's passed. There's a lot of things that he's been saying that's been going around. And a lot of the stuff he says, it is like, why would you even think or even say that about certain things? Like he said very unflattering things about black people. He's also said things about the whole Palestine and Gaza thing, which is just repulsive what he said. And when you actually look at what's going on, how fishy things are, it's almost like the very people he was speaking for might have been the ones that actually assassinated him. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on around there. King of the Monsters says, Goat says, King of the Monsters 2021 wants you to talk more about politics on Discord. Yeah, I only talk about politics when I want to talk about them. And in particular, when it relates to a movie or something in the entertainment industry. So I did it with Scream when Melissa Barrera got fired, because that was a big story. And then Jenna Ortega, she also left for the same reason. She left in solidarity with her co-star. So I talked about that. And then, what was it, in Hogwarts Legacy, when I talked about the whole political stuff surrounding that, I also discussed that. And that's because it was something that people were talking about, and it was something weird that was going on with the Hogwarts Legacy game. So I just wanted to chime in. Kind of like how I did with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So that's what that was. But yeah, I do try to refrain from speaking too much about politics on this channel, unless it's directly connected to something movie or entertainment related. So yeah. Crazy Cat Lady, very similar thing as you when she says, I didn't know he existed until he died. I was very much in the same camp. You only start to find out more. The thing that is weird to me is that they talk a lot about him in the media, like in the news reports and everything. And it's like they're doing that it almost feels very weird. It feels like they're almost doing it deliberately, where they're over covering on his story and acting like he's some kind of messiah, which is so freaking weird. It's just it's very suspicious the way they're speaking about him, as opposed to the way they don't speak about other people that get get assassinated or taken out. Usually they come and go and they stop talking about them. This guy is like they're just non-stop talking about him, and he's not a political figure or anything. He's just an influencer. So it's just weird how they'll keep focusing on him. And if you look at the stuff that his wife was doing, how she was talking messages about him, it's almost like you start getting very suspicious, because she's not talking like a grieving woman. I've lost people in my life, like we've lost family members. I've lost my grandparents. We also lost an uncle, and then you see how that affects, like your parents. You see how it affects your aunts and uncles. I've seen grieving people. I have been a grieving person as well. So when you see other grieving people, you just know it. You just feel it in your heart when you see someone being upset. And as humans, you feel empathy for people. And when someone is very upset, especially after losing a family member, something inside of you almost breaks. You like almost like internally, you're almost crying for them, and your eyes start to burn because you get upset. So I know what a grieving person looks like. I've been a grieving person. And Charlie Kirk's wife was not a grieving person. A lot of people were saying that it looks like she's acting, and that's exactly what I felt. So there's some weird stuff going on around there. That's like a whole separate topic, but yeah, it's very bizarre. And also, whilst they're over covering on his death, another school shooting happened, and that was stayed incredibly silent. Media wasn't reporting on that. So it's really, really weird, this whole thing, how everyone's acting. It's rubbing me the wrong way. It doesn't feel, something seems off and fishy about it. Goat, I take it you have seen it. Goat says his wife sounded like how Homelander would talk. The way she spoke, it sounded like how supervillains talk when they're pretending to be upset about something, about a certain event, and then they try to enforce whatever, authoritarian sort of like ruling they want to put out there. It felt very weird. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, don't do it now. You can look it up later. You can stay in the stream right now. But you can look up Charlie Kirk's wife and the way she talks about him since he's passed. She doesn't talk like a grieving woman. And if any of us have lost people, as like I've just said, I have, and I've been close to people who have lost people, you know what it looks like when you see a grieving person. And she was not a grieving person. It seems like she's playing up for the cameras and everything. It's so off. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's move on to the fun part. Joshman says, "Hey Eric, how are you doing today? And do you have any updates regarding your channel? And I know you just got done with the Superman Versus video, which by the way, fantastic job on it." Oh, thanks, Josh. Josh, man, I really appreciate that. If I'm being honest with you, that Superman Versus video took so much out of me. Like, I feel like the energy inside of me is kind of like gone a bit. Or I should say more than a bit. I just feel a bit tired. Like, I feel like I don't want to jump onto another video straight away. Although I have been. Today I've been busy working on the Monkey review. I watched the Monkey movie again. And after this stream is over, if I'm still awake enough, I'm going to try to get to writing the script. I've written a bunch of notes. So that Monkey review is going to be coming. I've seen it. I said this September I'm going to try to get through the Patreon videos. So I'm working on the Monkey review, and I'm also working on some of the other Patreon requested videos. So I am very busy. I'm trying to get some of those done. Also, I'm thinking of putting a pause on the Fantastic Four Versus video, because it's been a while since I've seen it. I need to see it again in order to get my thoughts down. Right now, it's like my thoughts have kind of gone on it. So I'm going to put a pause on the Fantastic Four Versus video, but there are 2 other Versus videos that I'm thinking of working on right now. And it's not going to be about new movies, it's going to be about an older childhood movie that I grew up watching. And it's going to be probably another 3-way Versus video that I'm thinking of doing. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. I probably mentioned it already, I think, probably in one of my recent streams. But there's another Versus video that I'm actually considering working on right now. One that I don't think I have told you guys, but it's something that I am seriously considering. And I'm going to try to watch that soon and take notes and all that stuff. Ooh, Super Angry. He goes, "It's your How to Train Your Dragon Versus video." Very good guess, but no. It's actually something else. Something older that's animated. So that's what I'll be considering doing. Goat says, to be honest, I don't want a Fantastic Four versus video. Yeah, that's something I was also thinking. I was like, do people want it now, or is Fantastic Four kind of come and gone? Because it didn't even do that well in theaters, did it? So let's talk about some other stuff. Time Shadow says, hey Eric, did you happen to see my Spider-Man video yet? It's fine if not, just wondering. I haven't seen it yet. Because like I said, I've been very, just kind of like tired after the Superman versus video. And I've been doing, my personal life kind of caught up to me. So I got busy, down there with that. So no, I haven't had time yet. I've not even had time to respond to you about the shorts yet either, because I was actually going to do that. So yeah, I'll try to get around to it, but I have got it opened in a tab, so on one of my Google Chrome tabs, so I will get to it. Yeah, because time flies. We're already halfway through this month, and yeah, it's kind of insane. So yeah. Neil, the main man, says, what versus videos are you working on? By the way, love the Superman versus video. Oh, thanks, Neil. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That took a long time to make. Many hours, and I'm still kind of tired over it, so I'm glad you really enjoyed it. And the video just passed 10,000 views today, so that was good. So yeah, I've got a couple worse videos that I'm working on, but I don't want to tell you because I like to keep the mystery alive. But yeah, there's a couple I'm working on. One is with a major franchise that has been around since the 90s, probably the mid to late 90s. I think it was the late 90s, and it's still around to this day, and I'm going to be covering some of its movies, let's put it that way. And I'm going to do a 3-way versus video there, and then I've also got a 3-way Halloween versus video planned, and I'm going to, hopefully if all goes to plan, that'll be tricky, but I'm going to try to work on that in October, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. Because it's the first video I've wanted to do. This Halloween 3-way versus video for Halloween is actually a versus video that I have wanted to make pretty much from the beginning when I was doing all of these versus videos. You know, going back to my Lemony Snicket, A Series of Unfortunate Events versus video. This is a video I've wanted to make ever since. You know, so we're talking about a video that I wanted to make a long time, and I'm gonna be working on that for this Halloween. So yeah, it'll be a 3-way versus video. And what's interesting is you probably won't even realize that this movie I'm going to be doing a 3-way versus video on, you probably won't realize that there is a third version of it. But I'm going to try to find it and watch it and do a versus on it. Let's see. Super Angry says, bro, this suspect green guy kidnapped you because you magically appeared in his video. He basically told his viewers, which I've been watching him ever since I was a kid. He said, try to, like, he said that he's going to give us send us an email as a file, and he wants us to react to it as part of this video that he's going to make. He did that about 4 months ago or something. He told us to do it, so then I recorded my reaction. Very much like how I do my trailer reactions on YouTube, and I sent it over to him, and yeah, he says he was really impressed with the video quality and the audio quality I sent to him, and he then put it into the video. So yeah, that's how I ended up on that. Trevor? No, that's not it. Yeah, Big Bash, that's the one. Rex, no, it's not Toy Story. It's going to be a horror movie, live action, for Halloween. Joshman says, Eric, what franchise did you just mention that was made back in the day? I can't tell you that, because then you're going to know what the versus video is. So you're probably going to have to figure it out. But it's something I used to watch during my childhood. But then I stopped watching it after a point. But I have fond memories of it. And I actually saw one of those movies in theaters as well, which was cool. Chucky versus video. Nope. Fireboy says, is it Star Wars? No, it's got to be some... It's not, oh, you mean the childhood thing? No. It's something, like I said, it's something animated. Cars versus... Nope, something earlier than Cars. Superman is a flop because it made $0 in North Korea. Wow, did it make 0 in North Korea? Who saw how much money Demon Slayer, the new Demon Slayer movie, made? Like I said, I've not seen the most recent season, so I haven't seen this movie yet. But that Demon Slayer movie made something crazy. It made like $60 million, I think, domestically. And internationally, it's basically made like over $300 million. So I think it's approaching, like, was it $400 million worldwide? Something like that already? Like 375 million worldwide? It's made an crazy amount of money, that Demon Slayer. Super Angry says, Eric, I know what the video is, I won't spoil it, don't worry. Okay, Super Angry, cool. Anime sells Anime sells well internationally, says Big Bash. Yeah, it does. So I wonder how much money the new Avatar, the Legend of Aang, the Last Airbender movie will make next year when it comes out in October or September. Basically, this time next year, we're going to get that Avatar movie, which is very exciting. So I wonder how well that will do, given that it's sort of cross between Western animation and anime, but it is also based on a franchise that is 20 years old. So a lot of people will want to go watch that and take their kids to it and everything. So that'll be cool. Shapink says, the recent season is basically build up to final arc since they want to make you care for characters since most of them are going to die in the last 3 movies. That will be upsetting if that happens. But yeah, I've not seen the recent season, so I'm going to try to watch that at some point. So yeah. Super Angry says, bro, make a movie review of Stratton movie. Nah, I'm okay. I think Suspect Green has covered it. I'm not going to watch. If you've seen my reaction to it, I think I'm good. I'm not going to watch that movie. Can't believe October is almost here, says Trevor. Yeah, we would have had the Mortal Kombat 2 movie as well. Crazy Cat Lady says, are we going to live chat tonight? Not tonight, because it's 1:39 a.m. already. If we live chat, it'll be like 4 a.m. or something, or 3 a.m. or something. It'll be like crazy late. I don't think I'll be able to do that, but don't worry, we will be doing another live chat. I'll try to organize another one, and then we can do another live chat. For those of you that don't know what Crazy Cat Lady is talking about, she means on the Discord. If you join my Discord, you can actually, like I said, on that perk right there, you can actually join us on Discord where we do live video chats, all of us, and we all come together and chat. So if you want to gain all of these perks, plus you want to get access to Discord, then all you got to do is join this on Patreon. The more of you that join it, that is great, because it means more support towards the channel, and it means that if I can just rely on Patreon and not have to worry about YouTube, because they don't pay you well on YouTube, I can do this as for a full time, as a living, and I don't have to stop. I can make this a full-time thing. Fireboy says, it is so late at night on every live stream. I know it is, yeah, because I always tend to end the day with a live stream. Sometimes I do it a bit earlier, but these times I've not been. Oh, Crazy Cat Lady says she watched K-pop Demon Hunters today. How'd you find it? Because I still haven't seen it. But King of the Monsters 2021, he wants me to review it, and I will be reviewing it next month. I'm going to try to get it reviewed next month. Khan says, hey, Eric, have you heard about the Bihero X? It's an anime that combines both 2D and CGI animation. I think you'll really love the animation style for the series. I haven't heard about it, but I'll definitely consider giving it a look when I'm looking for more anime type stuff. Super Angry says, bro, it's on Netflix. Yeah, it is on Netflix. The K-pop Demon Hunters, yeah. Have you heard about a movie called A Serbian Film? I have. Alright then, so with that said, let's get to our stories. So, now as always, if you guys want to ask me any questions, then all you got to do is do it through Streamlabs, which I've got linked as the first link in the description, and it's up in the pinned comment section on the live chat. If you donate through that, you'll be able to ask me a question, it'll pop up on the screen, and I'll answer your question immediately. Alternatively, you can also use YouTube Super Chat system, but it is much more preferred and much better if you could actually use the Streamlabs system. That's far more reliable, and YouTube doesn't take a cut, and I'll answer your question immediately during these stories. So that way I focus on the stories at hand, and I don't have to answer tons of questions on the chat. So this way, it's more focused to the people that donate to ask their questions. And of course, any donations support the channel, so they're always greatly appreciated. And anytime you guys join my Patreon or become a YouTube member or a Discord member, I will put your names right here where it will forever stay at the bottom over here. Well, forever in this particular stream. Anytime you watch it, your name will always be here. Alright then, so with that said, let's move on to the first story. Now, the first story is actually a continuation of last week's story. Turns out, if I just get these up right here, it turns out that James Gunn has confirmed that, he said this on an interview recently, that Superman, well, the Man of Tomorrow movie, is actually a Superman and Lex team-up movie. Now, I speculated this when I saw this image right here of Superman holding what looks like a screwdriver, which he's going to use to potentially help Lex and fix that suit, that robot suit of his. So I was curious about that. I was like, maybe they help each other in this movie, that maybe they team up. And James Gunn said, yes, they do team up, and also they're teaming up against a bigger threat. So who do you guys think that could be? Could it be Brainiac? Could it be Zod? Could it be another villain? Could it be... Oh, I just thought of it now. I hope not. But could it be both Zod and Brainiac? I hope not. Because I said one of my problems with the Superman movie is that it feels packed. Like there's a lot going on. Too many ideas competing with each other. And I hope James Gunn does not do that with the next movie. But interestingly, James Gunn has said that it's not a Superman sequel. He goes, this movie is very much just as much a Lex movie as it is a Superman movie. But that still sounds like a Superman movie, quite frankly. Because if you look at the Tim Burton Batman movies, for example, they barely had much Batman. They had more of the villains in than Batman. But they were still Batman movies. So by that logic, I feel like this very much could still be a Superman movie, even if it is more about Lex. But it sounds to me a bit more like he said it was just as much about Lex as it is about Superman. So, you know, it's just a weird thing how he's put it. It really is. So yeah, that's what we're gonna get. And yeah, it seems like this could be interesting, but I hope James Gunn takes his time when he's making this, and I hope the film doesn't feel rushed. And interestingly, both James Gunn and Matt Reeves will be shooting their Batman and Superman movies at the same time in terms of production. They'll both be starting in April, so that'll be interesting. Okay then, so that's the story here. It's just a follow-up on what we already know, and like I said, this looks like it will be very interesting to say the least. So yeah. Dark Lord says, shame, I wanted Brainiac and Lex to fuse again. Well, we'll have to see. We don't know what it'll be about, so it's all up in the air at the moment, so we're gonna have to wait and find out. So yeah, what do you guys think of this then? That it's going to be a team-up movie. It's been confirmed now. And also, they're going to be teaming up against a bigger threat, and it will be just as much a Lex Luthor movie as it is a Superman movie. I think that'll be very fascinating. What do you guys think? Goat says the main villain will be Zack Snyder. That's funny. Khan says, the biggest complaint I had with the Superman movie was that there was way too much going on, and it almost feels disappointing. Yeah, there was a lot going on, and I feel like they had to really slow their roll. It was just a lot that was happening. Big Bash says, I'm glad the team-up is with an actual Superman character this time. Yeah, although, I bet you in Man of Tomorrow, James Gunn is going to put other characters in there as well, so yeah, I bet you it is going to be another team-up type movie. Garrett, I don't think it will be Darkseid. I think Darkseid would be a Justice League level threat, not just a Superman level threat. Or maybe the villain will be the Snyder Cult. Maybe. Bro, Shipink says, bro, I'm confused. This Lex hates this Superman so much, I don't know why he would help his arch nemesis, other version of Lex, as I can see why, but this one, the one who hates Superman, is the very core teaming up. Yeah, that is weird. Because this Lex hates Superman so much he was willing to destroy the whole freaking world. So why would he team up with Superman to stop this other thing from destroying the world? That's what I said. I said I did not like that aspect about that movie, is that they didn't delve into why Lex wanted to kill Superman so much that he's willing to destroy the whole world to do it. That was a ridiculous part. I thought that was reaching, so we'll have to see. They really have to give a reason as well as to why Superman would team up with him, especially given after he killed Mali as well. That was... I don't see how Superman could not be upset with him after that. Kent says, maybe if he helps Superman, he will become president. I doubt he'll become president that quick. Although, if it was the MCU, they'd make him president that quick. Just look what happened to the Kingpin. in Daredevil Born Again. That was so bloody quick, that was. The Dark Lord says, this new threat must have been called Lex Stupid and proved it Let me read that again. This new threat must have called Lex Stupid and proved it mathematically. Yeah, probably. Garrett says, what do you think? Who do you think should play Brainiac if he's the villain? That's a very good question. Who should play Brainiac? Wouldn't it be funny if it was James McAvoy? You know, because it's bold. Brainiac is always bold, just like James McAvoy. And James McAvoy, he's very... we've seen him play various different characters. It would be very interesting to see him play, I think, Brainiac. If you remember the movie Split, where he had so many different personalities and stuff, I think it would be interesting. So yeah, Goat says The Rock. Come on, buddy. You know it can't be The Rock. No one wants The Rock. Tiny says, your Superman video was pretty controversial. What was controversial about it? Fireboy says, I hate The Rock. Cillian Murphy as Brainiac. Yeah, not bad. I would have much preferred Cillian Murphy as Doctor Doom, quite frankly. But yeah, he could, I guess, be an interesting villain. Oh my god, now you guys are just taking the piss. Deadwolf's production says Kevin Hart. No thanks, he can just piss off with Dwayne Johnson. So can Aquafina. Ethan's drawings, Big Bash, Goat. Giancarlo Esposito as Brainiac. Thing is, yes, I would say, but at the same time I also would say no, because I feel like he would play it exactly as we think he would play it. You know, he's not that diverse in terms of his performances. I think he needs to be more diverse. We need Mr. Beast to play Brainiac. Well, he does have the creepy face for it. Joshman says, Eric, I know some people would agree with you that Lex Luthor is a big crybaby boo-hoo. That is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, he was a bloody crybaby in that movie when it got towards the end. I liked him in the first half of the film, but second half, no way. The Dark Lord says, me as Brainiac, please, I'd find the equation that proves Lex stupid to piss him off, so the point Lex teams with Soups. Arnold Schwarzenegger says Goat. I don't think we want to see him in another superhero property, quite frankly. Ethan drawing says he promises that'll be the only time he mentions Aquafina. Okay, cool. Shapink says, not gonna lie, I think Steven Spielberg should direct a Superman movie with Brainiac as the antagonist. That would be my dream movie, not gonna lie. I don't know if I would trust Steven Spielberg with someone like Superman. I'm not so sure about that. Joshman says, Eric, let's move on to the next story because I want to hear about the new Mario movie that was announced at the Nintendo Direct. Yeah, I'll talk about it in a bit, don't worry. Christian Bale as Brainiac. Jason Isaacs or Javier Bardem. Oh, that's interesting. Jeff Goldblum. Nah, not Jeff Goldblum. He's not scary or intimidating to play Brainiac. Unless he's like the Fly or something. That would be freaky. Hello, Eric. How was your weekend, says Rohan. My weekend was good. It's flown by, which is surprising. But yeah, my weekend has been good. Guys, Nintendo fell off. It's the truth. Yeah, Nintendo has fallen off. Like, they keep on doing all this bad stuff. Like, the news just doesn't stop. Chris Pratt. Corey Burton as Brainiac. Eric, what's your top 5 superhero movies? That's not a question for right now. That'll be a question for maybe later on at the end of the stream or something. Shapink says, I could see Mark Strong as Brainiac, but he played Sinestro and Dr. Savant already. Yeah, and he also played Carmine Falcone in The Penguin Show. So it's like, how much more will he get? Khan says, I think some people may say that your Superman vs. video had some controversial takes with James Gunn's Superman, because everyone kept saying it was one of the best Superman movies since Christopher Reeves, I think you were going to say. Yeah, the thing is, I was very kind to the movie as well. I had issues with it. But that doesn't mean that they're controversial thoughts. They're thoughts that I think are, like, legitimate criticisms. So, yeah, that's what I think about that. Joshua says, Eric, what is the main reason you stated that Nintendo fell off, and how bad are they doing? Well, you can watch my video where I said the Nintendo Switch 2 is a scam. That's one thing you can watch to find out what I thought. but also they're bad just in terms of their practices, in terms of how they're treating their customers. Like, they're deliberately making Mario Kart World a game that people are enjoying, but there's one thing about it they don't enjoy, and people found a way to bypass the part of the game they didn't enjoy. But then Nintendo pushed an update out where they says, yeah, you can't do that anymore. You play the game we tell you to. They basically police their Nintendo stuff, whereas people are putting up game like footage on Twitch or just doing things that they should be allowed to do. Nintendo are basically telling them, no, you can't do that. Like, you can't back up your games on a flash cart, even if you dump your own games, basically meaning that you copy your own games that you purchased onto a flash card. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't use third-party docks or accessories that you already own for the Nintendo Switch 1, you know, on the Nintendo Switch 2. They've actually, like, the USB-C port, which, let's see, can you see? Can you see it? I don't know if you can. Okay, yeah, you can't. But you guys know what a USB-C cable is. The reason it starts for it has the U at the beginning of USB-C is U is supposed to mean universal. So it works on everything. Like, everything that has a USB-C port, it should work. But Nintendo, they actually did something to it to where they prohibited anyone from using it on anything that they don't allow. So they put some kind of code on it, so you cannot use it on third-party docks or anything unless they say so. That is something which I'm surprised they're legally allowed to do. And there's many other things they're doing, and the way they also sue people in a way that even Microsoft and Sony say they don't agree with it. Like, they said to Nintendo, we're not going to team up with you to sue this person because they thought Nintendo were so over the top. Nintendo are just scum. They really are, if you actually watch what they do. So yeah. Doom 2K says, hi, this is my last stream. Oh, Doom 2K, how come this is your last stream? It'd be sad. It's sad if you weren't here anymore. But anyway, yeah, there's many reasons why Nintendo is a very bad company. They're very anti-consumer. Just look at what they're doing with the Switch 2 and their game key cards, and how they can just they've built in the feature, they've baked it into the Nintendo Switch 2 to where they can kill your Nintendo Switch 2 if they want to. They can just with one button, they've got a kill switch in your Switch 2 where they can just brick it and stop it from working if you do anything they disagree with. So yeah, they're completely against. They just go completely against your consumer rights, basically. Doom says, kinda personal. Oh, well, I hope everything is going okay for you in your personal life. If you ever want to chat about anything, this community is the place where you can actually talk. So take care if you're not feeling too well. You can't join the live stream, but really hoping things are okay, buddy. Goat says Kim Jong-un as Brainiac. Oh, Kim Jong-un as Brainiac. I don't know. Can he do that pull off that kind of performance? I don't know. Interesting thought, though. The Movie King says Nintendo sued the shit out of someone who pirated their games, and now that person is in debt to Nintendo for the rest of his life. He didn't even do it. He was a fall guy. The main people that did it, they got away scot-free. It was this fall guy they made an example out of after they sent him to prison. So, yeah, they are absolutely sick. They really are, what they have done. It is atrocious. Nintendo makes Xbox look like a work of art now. Honestly, Xbox is very bad in their own way. Like how they just bought out all these game companies that they were going to have make games for them, and then they just killed all these companies, shut them all down, made many people unemployed. They are like their own separate Satan in their own way, their own corporate Satan. So it is horrible what Microsoft have done. In fact, a report came out recently that there's one game that they were blown away by. The heads of the company were completely blown away, and then they still shut that game and that company down. It was like, bloody hell, man. Well, Xbox, what the hell is going on with you? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the next story. Now, for those of you, since we're talking about games, you'll probably be very interested about this story that we're going to cover. Because that is going to be, wait for it, Super Mario Galaxy. Now, you guys all know about the original Super Mario Bros. Animated movie that came out from Illumination Studios a couple of years ago. Well, I was wondering, where's the sequel? How come we're not... Like, where is the sequel? How come we're not hearing any announcements about the sequel? I was like, they must be rushing for a sequel at this point. But we weren't really hearing anything about it. And we were hearing a lot about the Legend of Zelda movie they're trying to make. So I was like, maybe they're just trying to focus their energy on that. One at a time, maybe? Turns out, no. All this time, they were working on this. This is Super Mario Galaxy. And Super Mario Galaxy, I've not played this game, but I've been aware of it. It's a game where Mario is in space, basically. And all of this stuff goes on, you know, where they have to navigate around these stages in space. This, to me, is so incredibly smart, because it could have been so easy of them to just say, well, let's just do Super Mario Bros. 2. You know, like the Mario game that we already based it off of. Let's just do another Mushroom Kingdom adventure. But no, they're saying, let's do Super Mario Galaxy. Let's take him away from Mushroom Kingdom to space. And I think that is so interesting. That is one hell of a sequel, and that is really going to get people, you know, get their butts into seats. Even I'm very excited. That's actually such a cool idea to bring Mario into space. And like I said, I've never played the game, but if I'm still looking forward to it, and I've just seen gameplay footage, and if I'm still looking forward to it, that's a huge thing. So the movie is coming out on the 3rd of April 2026. And I think that is really, really surprising, because that is just around the corner. It's just a few months away, technically. And I had no idea they were actually animating this movie all this time ago. You know, like for a while. They must have been animating it for a while at this point. And yeah, they did a very, very good job. And I am super, super impressed. I am super impressed by what they have done. I really, really am. This is going to be exciting. I'm wondering when it comes out, what if there's any versus videos I do of it, what versus videos will I do? Like, I'm very curious to find out. I like how a lot of you, I'm just looking at some of your comments, you're all like, Yahoo! And it's me, Khan, says Khan. Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy, woo, says Fireboy. Let's go, says Deadwolf Productions. You guys all seem very excited about this. Trevor is like, it's me, Mario. Goat is like, what? Rosalind will definitely be in the movie. Oh, cool. Yeah, I do wonder, what will the third movie be like? I'm very curious about the third movie. What if the third movie was Smash? Ooh, Mario versus Sonic. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? You know, it's funny, we still haven't heard anything about Sonic 4. Like, have they started shooting yet or stuff? James Marsden is probably busy shooting the next Marvel movie, so probably that's holding things up, but I'm surprised Sonic 4 is, like, just very quiet. I've not heard anything, really, about it. So that's interesting. Joshua says, Eric, here is a good idea for versus videos for you. Why not do it on the 2023 Mario movie versus the second Mario movie? Yep, that's a good one, yeah. Khan says probably still in development. We don't know yet. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it is in development. But it's like we've not heard anything else about it, which is kind of surprising. You'd think you'd hear some things at this point. Oh, Super Angry says coming out in 2027. Oh, cool. Okay. 2027. So, yeah, that'll be the... So we'll get another Mario movie 1 year, then we'll get Sonic in the year after. Okay, then. Oh, that's interesting, Big Bash. Big Bash says, Eric, what Mario games did you play growing up? Well, the Mario games that I played growing up was Super Mario DS, sorry, Super Mario Brothers DS, Mario Kart DS. I'm sure there's another couple of Mario games that, on the DS that I played, but those are the ones that I really remember that I played the most. And also, back there, on my 3DS collection that I've got over here, I've actually got Mario Kart 3DS, so I played that as well. I tried Mario Kart on the Wii U on my Steam Deck, and that was fun as well, but I don't know, the Mario Kart games, I feel like if you played one, you've played them all, quite frankly. So, I'm not really crazy about it. However, me and my brothers and sisters, we still play Mario Kart DS multiplayer with each other, local multiplayer. And we still have a lot of fun with that. That's a fun multiplayer game to play. Really, like, timeless in its own way. So, that's the Mario Kart game that's the Mario game I play the most to this day. Is whenever my sister comes over, she's married, so when she comes over and we visit and everything, that we tend to play that and do multiplayer on that. Oh, hi Connor, great to see you again. He says, how you doing, Eric? When I saw the title announcement for this movie, I nearly jumped off my bed. Galaxy is one of my favorite games ever, and it's the game that made me the gamer I am today. Oh, cool. Yeah, see, I said everyone's going to be very excited with this. Like, this is a very good choice, a very strong choice for a sequel from Nintendo. So, very good on them for that. That's very smart. Big Bash says, will you ever do a video showing off your collection of games? Yes, I will, and it will be for you patrons who are a member of the Early Access and Game Show perk, so I'll be doing it for you guys, for sure. Khan says, Eric, what are your thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers movie after your Versus video on it? I've not seen it again since that Versus video, so I think my opinion on it still stands. If you want to know what my thoughts are, watch my Mario Versus video, and you'll know exactly what I think. Joshman says, Eric, are you aware that the new Mario movie sequel, just got announced at the Nintendo Direct, and Galaxy 1 and 2 is going to be priced at $70? Is it? Galaxy 1, is that supposed to be like the original Super Mario Galaxy, but they're re-releasing it on the Switch 2 or something, is it? Neoma, I've not seen The Long Walk, but I've heard great things about it, so I do want to see it. Is Bowser supposed to be a turtle? I don't know, we'll have to see. Khan says, Eric, what are your thoughts on the Super Mario movie after you've... Actually, I've already read that. AGN King says, Eric is just ignoring. I'm not ignoring comments, but like I said, I don't talk about politics on the channel. I spoke about it earlier, as much as I'm going to talk about it. We're talking about entertainment right now, so... Yeah. So please don't be bringing that up again, okay? We're talking about... We're having fun here, not talking about politics now. We've done that earlier, now we're done with that. Big Bash says, remember when Nintendo said Mario and Peach were only good friends? Did they say that? I can't even remember. But it always seemed like they were meant to be a couple, is what it always felt like. Deadwolf says versus video idea: 1993 Mario versus 2023 Mario. I actually was going to do a quick versus video on that originally, but it never materialized because I got very busy. Yeah, it's a shame I never got to, because that was going to be a more comedic-centric video that was going to be. Connor says, I already have Galaxy as part of 3D All-Stars on the Switch, so I only have to use £35 for Galaxy 2. Oh, okay, cool. Joshua says, Eric, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are getting re-released on the Nintendo Switch, and it's going to be a straight-up remaster for what I noticed. And they're also going to be adding extra pages to Rosalina's book. Oh, cool. Okay, that's interesting then. Because I've seen people on the Steam Deck play Mario Galaxy, and they use the trackpad on the Steam Deck as the Wii Wiimote pointer. Or the Wiimote cursor. So that was interesting. So yeah, there is a way to play that game on there if I wanted to, but I've also heard the game is quite hard and challenging is what I've heard. Fireboy says, I have an idea, Super Mario Galaxy movie versus Sonic Movie 2 versus video. We'll see when we get closer to the time, but thanks for the idea, Fireboy. Connor says, the big question is, who is going to voice Rosalina? Well, yeah, I don't know who Rosalina is, because like I said, I've not played the game. But you guys can put your thoughts in the comments and say who you think should do the voice. AJ King, I agree when he says they made Lex seem like a bitch in the last scene. That's actually what I said in my Versus video, that he came across like that. Kind of like how what was his name? The High Evolutionary in Guardians 3, how he also kind of came across like that. Crazy, dude. What they do with these villains. Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Rosalina. You guys are... Next thing you know, they're going to say Aquafina as Rosalina. Let me see here. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. Oh. Oh, Rosalina was originally meant to be like the sister of Princess Peach, but that never ended up happening. Apparently. Like, they didn't end up making her sisters. Is that what it's supposed to be? Eric, Joshua says, Eric, I have played Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and they're both excellent games. The sequel is twice as good, and I even still have the original Wii versions. Ooh, that's cool to have all, like, the Wii versions of the game. It's like the games I have from that day, from back in those times, is the PSP games of that generation, when the Wii was, you know, still out and everything. So cool. They still have the Wii games. Pedro Pascal. Guys, Drake as Rosalina. Oh man, you guys are too much sometimes with the stuff you say. Oh god, what about Vanessa Kirby? I think I'm Vanessa Kirby'd out right now, so yeah. What if Aquafina was in Eric's bloodline? Oh my god, I don't put that kind of scary thought in my head. I don't want that. It'd be just tons of corny jokes. Blake Lively should play Rosalina, says Super Angry. And he said, to his credit, he said it's sarcasm. Oh yeah, Super Angry. Food Fight is a disturbing movie. AGN King, what are you doing when you're saying W Eric? Do you mean with Eric? Rachel Brosnahan. I don't know, actually. Now, see, now we're actually making some interesting thoughts. But however, is Rosalina supposed to sound like Princess Peach too? Because if she is, then they might as well just keep Anya Taylor-Joy and let her voice her. Khan, yeah, the Sonic Verse video has been put on hold for now. It definitely has been put on hold. Oh, she has never talked. Okay. See, like I said, I'm not sure. Keegan Michael Key, are you crazy? Time Shadow, that's an insane one. Ah, Connor says Rosalina has the voice of a motherly figure. Okay. A. Jenkins says, the way Eric talks is so tough, I have chills. Interesting. I never would have thought my voice has that kind of impact, unless you're just kidding, in which case. Ten Rex says, Rosalina doesn't talk. Didn't know that. Yeah, I'm hearing this all for the first time. I am. So yeah, tell me about Rosalina, because I've not ever come across that character, because I only really grew up playing the DS Mario games, and I never came across that character. Trevor says, Emma Stone or Scarlett Johansson would be my choice for Rosalina. Okay, interesting. Rohan says, the fact that this movie had a $65 million budget, then Toy Story's $35 million is absurd. Well, if you talk about the first Toy Story, it's to do with inflation stuff, isn't it? Joshua says, Eric, I played both Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and they're both excellent 3D platformers, and I still have the original Wii versions. Is my Wii collection. I had them for many years since I first got them. Oh, the same with me with my collections of PSP games. And I had a couple DS games, which I've had since then as well. The movie on referencing is Food Fight. Okay. Eric, Galaxy doesn't have much of a story, so the story is going to be very original. Okay. Okay, those are her children, Connor. The Lumas, it says, the little stars, including the blue one in the cage. Interesting. Never would have thought that was her kid. Wow. Is she married to a star or something, or whatever that thing was? Alright, Big Bash says Jessica Alba. Wait, guys, Mario Odyssey to complete the trilogy. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe they will do Mario Odyssey. I don't know. We'll have to see what else they do. Maybe Mario Underwater or something? Anyway. Alright, time to move on to the next story, guys. And that next story is... Hold on. Oh, A. Jenkins said, did I decide about the Fantastic Four Versus video? Yeah, I made a quick mention earlier that I'm gonna wait on that one. I'm gonna do another Versus video that I've want to do instead. Because Fantastic Four, I need to see the new movie again, and I actually haven't... I haven't seen it in a while since that time I did that review. And in that time, I spent so much time making the Superman Versus video that I can't get... the Fantastic Four Versus video out because I haven't seen it. I feel like it's been a while and I need to see it again to remember it. So I'm going to take a pause on that. I'll probably write bits of it, but ultimately I'm going to take a pause on that video for now. So yeah. Big Bash says, you don't need to make the video if you don't want to, Eric. Yeah, it's also a bit of that. I don't really know if I want to cover it anymore because I think the time has come and gone and I had a lot to say about Superman. It kind of took the time away from other Versus videos potentially. So a 50-minute Versus video of Superman has kind of taken center stage a lot more, I think. So yeah, I'm going to try to do another one. A. Jenkins, I'm not going to say which Versus video it is. He says, oh, okay, what Versus video? I'm going to keep that a surprise for you guys, but it's another 3-way Versus video, which I'm planning to do. So yeah. Goat says, love the way you say Mario. Mario. I just say Mario. Call of Duty live action movie, says Rohan. Yep, let's talk about that. Oh, Big Bash says the Superman video was amazing. Oh, thanks, bud. I appreciate that. It took a lot of work, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. Alright. Let's talk about Call of Duty. Now, Call of Duty, believe it or not, you can actually see right here, Steven Spielberg apparently really wanted to direct the Call of Duty movie. It reads here, this is a post on Instagram from IGN, Steven Spielberg reportedly pitched Activision on his vision for a Call of Duty movie, but was turned down, but they were turned off by the acclaimed director's want for full control over the film and sold the rights to Paramount. So, yeah, he basically wanted to make that movie. And what's interesting is that Steven Spielberg, if I show you this right here, he's actually a gamer. He actually says, I don't know if he's a hardcore gamer, but he says that he loved playing video games, like even Pac-Man back in the day. Like back when the Atari 2600 came out, like when they were doing like E.T. and everything. Even back in those days, apparently he would play games, and he was really into games. So he wanted to make apparently a Call of Duty game, but because he wanted full creative control and the studio didn't want to give him that, they ultimately turned him down. And they said no. And not only that, but they also sold the rights over to Paramount. So yeah, that's kind of surprising. However, I will say this. Do you guys remember the Halo show that was on Paramount Plus, if I remember correctly? That was a show that Spielberg produced, and that show ended up being so hated because it was nothing like the game. So it was one of those times where Hollywood came in and just butchered the source material of the game. And that's why people were pissed with that show, and it just did horribly. Because they did not... I think we found out they didn't even play the game either. So it was like, yeah, why the hell did these people... Why were they able to write and make a show about Halo if they don't even play the game or know the game? It was ridiculous. So I'm glad that that failed as it did. Even Neoma here says Halo TV show cinematic trash is what that he described it as. Yeah, it really is terrible. And Spielberg produced that show. He was on stage announcing it to the world. He was. So I don't know if I would trust Spielberg's judgment fully because of that. That was something that he tried to get off the ground, and look how it turned up. They did not understand the property. The people he gave it to, they did not understand the property. So I thought that was bad management on his part. So yeah, the fact that he wants to do this, I can see why the studio, Activision, and would not want to give him the keys to this movie. But at the same time, we've seen these video game properties get turned bad when they're given to certain filmmakers, and Paramount are the ones behind Halo, so I don't know why they would want to sign the rights off to Paramount. They need to do a good job with it, because if they screw up, this is going to be bad. So I think I would have given it to Spielberg. I would have said, alright, take it. And I'm sure Spielberg, because he knows he's directing it, his name is on it, I'm sure he would have tried to stick to the game a lot better. But it didn't end up happening, so... But it also depends what his take was going to be. So that's another big contributing factor. What was his take going to be? Neoma says the TV show is still better than Halo 4. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say bad stuff about Halo 4. So yeah, let's see. Eric, have you ever played Call of Duty before? Have I played? Yes, I have, but not the ones you're thinking. I've played them on the DS. Again, it was with my siblings as multiplayer. But also, yeah, I did play Call of Duty on the DS single player as well. For Call of Duty 4, I really loved. I played that all the way through when I was a kid. But I always wanted to play the console version, but I never got to. That always made me sad, that I never got to play. Yeah. Goat says, I played Cold War. Big Bash says, does Call of Duty play well on the DS? No, it doesn't really play well on the DS, but the thing is, that's all I had at the time, so I had to just make do with it. But now there are other options. I can play Call of Duty on my Steam Deck. I actually had a PS4 for a while, so if I wanted to play Call of Duty, I could have played it on that. My brother-in-law actually is a big fan of playing Call of Duty, particularly on multiplayer. And he bought, you can see those 3 games piled on top of my PS4 collection. He bought those 3, and so when he came over, we could play multiplayer. And then he said I could keep them as well. So, yeah, I played some good multiplayer with him, and with my brothers as well, and with my sister. So I've played that, but no, I've never played the full mission. Although I've always wanted to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and then Modern Warfare 2, because I remember that was such a huge deal, but I never got to play it, because I just wasn't allowed a console back in the day. So yeah, I kind of wasn't able to get into Call of Duty like everyone else, even though I really wanted to. Fireboy says, I'm gonna go, Eric. Bye, everyone. Oh, take care, Fireboy. Thanks for joining the stream. So yeah, what do you guys think of this? Do you approve of this, or do you think they should have let Spielberg direct this movie? What do you think? Big Bash says, your brother-in-law seems like a good guy. Yeah, he is. Very good guy. It was very nice of him, that was. Dead Wolf says, imagine if they get Paul W.S. Anderson to direct this film. He just cast his wife as the main character. I don't think Paul W.S. Anderson is married to Mila Jovovich anymore. Was it Mila Jovovich he was married to? Or was it, was he married to Mila Jovovich? I think he was married to Mila Jovovich, wasn't he? Or was it the Underworld? Kate Beckinsale. No, he was married to Mila Jovovich, wasn't he? Yeah. 10 Rex says, is the Call of Duty movie just going to be a guy shooting people for an hour and a half? Oh, they're still married. Okay, then. I think it was Kate Beckinsale's husband, who was a director, that they got divorced. So if Mila Jovovich, if they're still married, then yeah, he probably would have, yeah. Was there a Monster Hunter movie he made where he put her in the film as well? He always casts her. Imagine if it's a Black Ops movie. Do you know what would be cool? If it's a Black Ops Zombies movie. A Call of Duty Zombies movie. Because Call of Duty has been in the zombie side too, hasn't it? Wouldn't that be awesome? What do you guys think? Do you think Call of Duty Zombies would be cool? Here, let me put that in a poll. Let's do a poll. What Call of Duty movie would you like? Yeah, they will both be R-rated. That goes without saying. Alright, so what Call of Duty movie would you like? A normal Call of Duty movie or zombies, baby? There you go. Put your votes in. Which one would you choose? Super Angry goes, yes. Big Bass says, imagine if it has microtransactions. Trevor says, Saving Private Ryan is his Call of Duty movie, lol. I think it would actually be cool if they had like a normal Call of Duty movie first, and then the second one would be zombies. Like, that would throw people off. That would be really cool. Oh, take care, AGN King. Thanks for joining the stream, bud. Okay, I'll give you guys a few more seconds to put your votes in, then we'll end the poll. Joshman, I do want to watch The Long Walk, but I've not seen it. A Call of Duty zombie movie would be so dope, says Trevor. Yeah, that would be, wouldn't it? Alright, I'm going to end the poll now. Let's see. So 77% of people want, 77% of people said zombies, baby, and 23% said normal Call of Duty movie. Alright, so yeah, I think zombies is something that people are very interested in, but at the same time, there is some people that did say normal Call of Duty movie. So yeah, hopefully, I hope that we get a normal Call of Duty movie first, and then we get the zombies film after that. That would be really cool. So it would be cool to establish it in a more grounded way first, then to throw zombies in there. I think that would be really cool. So yeah, we'll have to see what they do with this property. I'm curious to see what they end up doing. If they said no to Spielberg, what other director would they get to make this? So yeah, that will be interesting to see. Deadwall Production says, give me zombies. Modern Warfare is beloved as well, says Big Bash. Yeah, I'm aware of Modern Warfare, yeah. Ghost is the main character, please. Big Bash says, imagine your brother-in-law's reaction to this announcement. Yeah, he'd probably go nuts. Alright then, so time for the Q&A. So this is where you can ask all your questions, and if you want your questions put to the top of the pile, then Super Chats or Streamlabs chats, and you can do that, and we can start answering some questions. And of course, consider joining any of my Patreon perks, as it really does help support the channel, and I'd really appreciate that. Zack Snyder as the director, says Goat. Nah, I think Zack Snyder would make it a bit weird. I would want it to be someone else. He's already made a Call of Duty Zombies movie in a way, hasn't he? He made Army of the Dead. So that's kind of his Call of Duty Zombies movie, and I thought that was a good movie, I thought. The Dark Lord says, if you had to pick a game to be a movie, to be made into a movie or show, what game would you pick? That is a good question. I mean, these games are so good in the format that they are in. I never normally want them as a movie because they already look great as they are. They look as good to movies, I think, as they already do. That being said, I feel like there is probably one that I would have said yes to. I think Uncharted would have been a good movie. If you've seen that little short that was done with... hold on a second. Nathan Fillion, who played Nathan Drake in that little Uncharted short film that was done, he would have been a great choice. But Sony being Sony and not giving shit about what fans think, they cast Tom Holland, who was one of the worst casting choices. So, yeah, quite frankly, I think that was atrocious what they did there. I didn't even bother watching the movie. My parents said they were going to watch it anyway because they didn't know what Uncharted was. They got bored. They stopped watching it about halfway through. I don't even know if it was the full-on halfway through either. Khan says, people said in your Superman vs. video that Ultraman is alive and he may become Bizarro the next time we see him. What are your thoughts about this, Eric? Well, my thoughts are less about what the movie does later, because of course they could bring him back if they wanted to. But did Superman know that he would survive the black hole? Because if Superman did not know that, and he actually sent him up there thinking that it would defeat him, aka kill him, it makes me think then, did he do that? Did he not care? Like, that's the big question. Did he know it would kill him or not? Or did he not care? And he was like, I'm just going to do it anyway. That's the big question. Super Angry says, bro, ain't Nathan Fillion 54, Nathan Drake is 30. Well, when they did that short, he looked the part there, so they could have said he was a bit of an older Nathan Drake if they wanted to. You know, so that would have been fine, but I would rather take older Nathan Drake than extra young Nathan Drake, which is what Tom Holland was. That was pathetic. Putting him in the Nathan Drake costume and expecting us to buy that, especially next to other actors, it makes him look even younger. Mark Wahlberg looks more like a Nathan Drake than Tom Holland does. Big Bash says, Eric, who do you like more, Mark Hamill or Heath Ledger? That's a very tricky question. I think they both do excellent jobs, but I will say Heath Ledger, purely because he did the voice and he did the whole physical performance. Mark Hamill does the voice a lot, but I don't know if he would be able to do the physical performance of the Joker as well. But the thing is, I love Mark Hamill's Joker. I grew up with that version. That is my favourite version in many ways. But there's something about seeing it done in live action which makes it even more effective. What's my favourite fourth wall break in a video game? Oh... There are no... Probably in the Deadpool game. In the Deadpool game, there is a lot of fourth wall breaking where they talk about the player. Like, the player has to press the button, or the player has to do this or that. And Deadpool tells you as the player, like, hey, are you going to press the button or something? Or are you going to... he basically, like, takes the piss out of the player quite a lot. I think that was funny. Nathan Drake versus Lara Croft. Yeah, that would actually be pretty good, because their games are very similar. Uncharted took a lot of inspiration from Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider games. Deadpool Production says Tom Holland was only cast as Nathan Drake because of the MCU. Yeah, and they also thought they'll bring in an audience that likes Tom Holland, but Sony was like, they should have been thinking about the gaming audience that they could bring in by doing proper casting, but No, they did Tom Holland because they didn't want the game audience. They didn't want the gamer audience. They wanted other, general audiences. And well, the movie didn't perform very great. Kent says, Eric, do you like X-Men Days of Future Past? What is your score to it? I love X-Men Days of Future Past. That and Logan are constantly, like, in a fight for my favorite Fox X-Men movie. I think I give that movie a 9 out of 10. It is great. I love Days of Future Past. It's better to me than most of the Avengers movies. Just like the drama they do. Charles Xavier being like an addict. An addict who is like a drug addict, and seeing Charles Xavier like that, it's like, wow, you'd never see your superhero icons like that, but they did it, and it was very well done. I would say it's James McAvoy's best performance. Even he thinks that's some of his best work as well. So yeah, I really love that. I really do. Big Bat says, Eric, thoughts on Batman Mask of the Phantasm? Do you think it's an incredibly underrated Batman film? It's not underrated because everyone rates it highly. I really enjoy the film. I didn't love it like everyone else because I thought the mystery, once it was revealed who the Phantasm is, I was like, I don't fully buy that. So for me, as a kid, I never fully bought it when it happened. Even now, I don't fully buy it. It's like, but what about this? What about this? What about this? It expects you to have your suspension of disbelief pushed quite a lot, I think. But I do really enjoy that movie a lot. Like, I've seen it many, many times, and that says a lot about me, that I still watch that movie so many times. Eric, do you Brits say... Jacinda says, Eric, do you Brits say mobile and cell phone interchangeably? I saw a British show, and they said phone in place of mobile. Well, we never say cell phone. That's an American, I think, terminology. We just say my smartphone or my phone. That's what we say. We also say handset, but I don't hear people say handset a lot anymore. Big Batter, do you think the Phantasm should return a future Batman project? No, I think it's great where they left it off. I think originally that Mask of the Phantasm movie was just meant to end the animated series. It was meant to end that way. But because it did so well on video, not in theatres, it did bad in theatres, but it did so well on video, and it got great praise and word of mouth. Even Siskel and Ebert, they both gave it thumbs ups, and they said they regret not reviewing it when it hit theatres. They said it was better than any of the live action movies at the time as well, and they were surprised by that. They also said, what was it? No, but that was one big thing that they really enjoyed it. It did very well on video. I think it made like 70 million on video alone or something, which I think was a lot of money. And yeah, the Batman the Animated Series was just amazing on TV, so lots of people went to watch it. So the studio, even though Mask of the Phantasm was supposed to end the animated series and Joker was supposed to die at the end, they kept it going because it was just doing so well. Neoma says, Eric, do you think an R-rated Professor Pig movie would be awesome? Depends on the writing, but if it's from Matt Reeves, then yes, I think it would be awesome. Ten Rex says, do you have thalassophobia, fear of the ocean, or what's in it? I don't know. I've been in the ocean, but no, I don't really have that phobia. But I probably would if I went further and further into the ocean. It probably would be scary to think like you're venturing out where it starts to get like a lot of water and it can like drift you away. So probably that would freak me out, but not fear of the ocean. What's in it? I definitely think of that. I'm like, man, could you imagine if you step on a piece of glass or something in the water? So it's definitely crossed my mind, but I don't think I have a phobia of it. Brandon, I've heard you. You don't have to keep repeating that. Yeah, she looks nice she looks nice in there. Yeah. Eric, which Harley Quinn voice actress do you like more? Arlene Sorkin or Tara Strong? Arlene Sorkin, without a doubt. Tara Strong does an okay job. She does a good... Well, I shouldn't say okay, that's probably harsh. She does a good job, but you can just tell she's putting on a squeaky voice. Whereas Arlene Sorkin, she really owned that character. No one can do it better than her. So, yeah, Arlene Sorkin, she's really, really good. Like, really good. She voiced Harley in Batman Arkham Asylum. So they brought her back for that, but then Tara Strong took over with Arkham City, where Arlene Sorkin, I think she retired. Yeah, so if you want to hear Arlene Sorkin, I think the last time she played Harley was in the Batman Arkham Asylum game. And then Arkham City was Tara Strong from that point on. Jacinda, no, we don't use mobile and cell phone interchangeably. Like I said, we just say my phone, my mobile, my smartphone. But people don't even say mobile anymore. They just say my phone or my. And people don't even say smartphone anymore. No, they just say my phone. There was a time where we used to say handset, but we don't say that anymore either. So we just say my phone. The Dark Lord says, I want an R-rated Scarface film or show for the Batman verse. Seeing Arnold Wesker slowly descend into madness could be so interesting and frightening, like Sophia in The Penguin. That could be interesting, yeah, so let's see what happens. I'm very curious. Okay, guys, we'll end the stream in 8 minutes, so get your questions in now, because we'll end in 8 minutes, and then, yeah, we'll just call it an end to the stream. Have I seen Beware the Batman? Yes, I tried to watch some episodes back when it came out. I found it so boring, I just stopped. And I didn't like the changes they did, particularly with Alfred. I was like, this just stinks. Plus, they didn't let them use any of the big villain characters for some reason in that show, so that was bad on their part. Tenrex, you gotta ask me that again. What's a painfully bad movie you would re-watch it forced? Do you mean what's a painfully bad movie you would rewatch if forced? Because if I was forced, then I would watch many bad movies. Depends how badly I was forced. Khan says, Eric, did you hear about the rumor about Tobey Maguire and about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man potentially being in Avengers Doomsday? What is this movie? Being in Avengers Doomsday, I heard that he could be in Avengers Secret Wars. I don't think it'll be Doomsday. I think Secret Wars is where you're going to see all these different superheroes all jump in like in Endgame. I think that's where it will happen. Neoma, I did watch the Green Lantern animated series here and there, but I didn't watch it all the way through. I was not a fan of the animation style, personally. That was a big turn-off for me, that was. Joshman says, Eric, I would say Tara Strong used her My Little Pony Twilight Sparkle voice, and that was extremely lame. Have Cookie Monster eat her. I'm sorry, but I don't know what that means. That sounds like you're talking about something that I don't watch. I don't watch My Little Pony, so. Did you see the Doctor Doom photo released for Doomsday, Eric? I did. It wasn't a great looking photo. We'll have to see what happens with it. They're still being very coy with what they show us, but I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait. I'm not really hedging my bets on that movie. It sounds like a disaster based on its production, so we'll have to wait and see. Have I seen F1, says Neoma. I haven't, no. Do you think they will Kang similar to that character in Thunderbolts because of public response? Tenrex, you gotta ask me that again. You've said it in a way I don't know what exactly you're saying. Joshua says, Eric, when are you going to see The Long Walk? I don't know, when I have time, because right now I'm super busy. So, yeah, I'm working on some Patreon videos that I need to catch up on. So if I had to do a video about The Long Walk, I don't know, I think, I don't think I would have time to do another quick movie review right now, unless I really made it quick. Khan says it's on YouTube, but why bother on it? What's on YouTube? What's your second favourite Christopher Nolan movie? Probably Memento. I thought Memento was really good. Joshman says, Eric, will you be reviewing K-pop Demon Hunters? Yes, because King of the Monsters 2021, he commissioned me to do a quick movie review, and he did that on my Patreon. And the quick movie review that he wanted me to make, the second one, is K-pop Demon Hunters. So yes, I'll be watching that later this month, and hopefully I should get a review up by next month. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Big Bass says, if you had to say something nice about Cars, what would it be? I don't know. I've not seen it in since 2007, or was it 2008, something like that. So I don't know. I would say I didn't even think the animation was all that special. All I remember is I think I might have remembered a waterfall that looked quite nice. Probably that's it. There's some nice animation in there here and there, but that's it. Joshman says, Eric, will you be watching Jendy Tarkovsky's Fix, the R-rated animated feature? I do want to give that a watch, yes. I'm almost scared to watch it. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing that he would typically make. But hey, we'll give it a watch and see. Neoma says, are you excited about The Odyssey coming out in 2026? We'll have to see. It's a Christopher Nolan movie, so I'm going to see it. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Depends how good he does it. I feel like I've seen a lot of movies like this, where it's meant to be these big biblical epic types. And I don't know, they just seem quite generic to me after a while. So maybe Christopher Nolan will bring something new to it. We'll have to wait and see. Deadwolf says, gotta go, gotta get going now. See you next week. No problem, buddy. Take care. I'll catch you next week. Okay, 2 more minutes, then we're going to end the stream. What do you think of Breaking Bad? I like Breaking Bad, but I thought the pacing of it was a bit stop and start. Like, it would get going, then it would slow down. It would get going, and it would slow down. It was never a moment where it felt like it was just going. Like the story had found its footing. It felt like it kept stopping. So that was my only real issue with that show, is I wish they would have found a way to pace it better. But I thought it was a very good show. Neoma, no, I've not seen Better Call Saul. I wanted to watch it at the time, but I remember life just got so busy I didn't have time to watch it, so yeah, I never got to. Super Angry says, it's a Greek story with way too many mythical elements. Let the man cook. Yeah, let's see how he does it. 10 Rex says, do you think they will kill Kang similar to Taskmaster because of public response? I think they will. I think they're going to have Doctor Doom kill him. They'll have Doctor Doom kill him and show just how much of a big threat Doctor Doom is. There's a rumor that he might kill a Thanos variant as well and show how much of a big threat he is. So we'll have to see. Joshman says, I gotta go, Eric. I got a game with a friend. Oh, no problem, bud. Take care. Enjoy your game. I'll see you next week, hopefully. Big Bash says, do you like stories about the main character turning evil? If done right, then yes, I really do like those stories. Like Two-Face, I think, is the best one in The Dark Knight. How that happened. The Dark Lord says, nah, they'll just say Kang's dead already. Yeah, they probably will. Super Angry says, bro, are you watching Marvel Zombies? And it's actually violent. Trust. I've seen the trailer. Is Marvel Zombies actually out yet? I don't think it's out yet, isn't it? Let me see. Oh, take care, Neoma. I'll catch you next week. Let's see. Lilo and Stitch is here. New to Disney Plus. September 24. Yeah, it's not out yet. So you'll probably just talk about the trailer. Yeah, the trailer is violent, but it feels quite safe, making it the TV show violent, an animated show that they can watch, or they can... Basically, there's no skin off Marvel's nose for making this R-rated, so it's not really a risk to me. It just seems very easy what they're doing. They're playing it safe again, it feels. Rohan says, what do you think of the character development of Jesse Pinkman and Walter White in Breaking Bad? I thought it was great character development, especially when the two start turning on each other. It's like, gets quite sad, tragic, and emotional at points during those, so that was quite impressive. 10 Rex says, will you do a Marvel tier list? Maybe one day, but I'm in no rush to do it right now. Oh, look at that. We're a minute past how long I intended to. Guys, this has been absolutely fun. Again, like I said, really enjoy doing these with all of you. And I can't wait to chat with you guys more, show you more videos and everything. So, yeah, Big Bash, I have not watched. I've watched Malcolm in the Middle, but I wanted to watch it when I was a kid. My parents wouldn't let me. I've tried to watch it on Disney Plus since I gotten older, and I've gone through a couple seasons, but I never went through all of it. But yeah, I do find it funny. I do enjoy it. But yeah, hopefully I watch all of it before the new show comes out. Anyway, really appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate all you guys joining. Right here, I'm just going to quickly post my Amazon affiliate links. Please do, if you're going to make any Amazon purchases, use those, because I need at least 3 Amazon affiliate purchases done. Otherwise, they'll shut my affiliates account down. So I've got a couple months left until until that happens. But if you guys could do any of your next purchases with those links, I'd greatly appreciate it. It's in the description of this video, and it's in the chat right now on this video too. Well, the chat is there. So yeah, I'd really appreciate that. It's also on my Discord if you want to see my Amazon affiliate links. And I think I put it on my Patreon chat as well. But I'd really appreciate that. Any support it always helps the channel, and I greatly appreciate it every single time. So, guys, thank you very, very much. Super Angry, Amazon did not sponsor me, but it's meant to be affiliate link. So if you purchase anything on Amazon using my link, Amazon basically says, "Oh, thanks for having this person come to Amazon to buy something. Here, take a little bit of a." They'll say, here's a little bit of money basically for bringing that person in, and that's enough to help support the channel without you actually spending anything on the channel. If you feel like you can't afford it, it's like it works as a 2-in-1 for you basically. So if you just do an Amazon purchase like you normally would, it would just help the channel here. So yeah, I'd really appreciate that. So thank you very, very much, everyone. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna get to work on the monkey script right now, and then I'm gonna get some rest. So thanks a ton for watching. Greatly appreciate it as always, and I'll catch all of you very soon. Take care.